wrapped around your soul with no control. You can't breathe when you're drowning underwater. There's so much water. I'll run, I'll hide. Darkness always clouds my mind. When I look behind, it's moving closer every time. I can't pretend that I have a strong defense. 'Cause darkness, my old friend, you get me in the end. See you at the end. Can you feel it wrapped around your soul with no control? You can't breathe when you're drowning underwater. There's so much water. I can't pretend that I have a strong defense. 'Cause darkness, my old friend, you get me in the end. See you at the
What's going on, folks? I'm back. Back again. Kids, what are you going to do? Football is back. International break is over. Newcastle on the weekend. It's time to start talking about FPL again. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are scoring loads of points. Glad that everyone has joined us today. My name is Will Stewart, and this is Will Stewart's THFCRants doing the FPL Spurspective. Make sure you get in the comments, hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't already. Brian Daigle says Gil and Son have COVID. That's some pretty good team news, Brian. Thank you very much for that. We'll have to definitely look into that. I'll have to try to pull up a report and see what's going on with that. But anyway, folks, how have you done? How have you been? How have you been? It's been a while. Life has been crazy. He says he's with Bombspur and he is pissed. Drunk. No way, says Mark Swift. That's pretty big news here. See if we can pull up. Son Heung-min. Let's see. Not seeing any recent news. Check the WhatsApp. Will do. Checking the WhatsApp here. Let's see. So the latest, Heung-min's son, Brian Hill, or the two THFC players have tested positive for COVID, says the Daily Hotspur. Today, 15th of October, it's 2016. So that would be, let me see if I can pull that up on Twitter. And we'll bring that up. But before we get rolling here, I do want to thank all of the people that help support the show, all of our Patreon members. If you want to help support the show, you can do so by going to patreon.com/THFCRants, joining the Patreon membership. The list here, I still think is current and accurate. Could be wrong. But Spartan 7 Gaming, Wayne Bonner, Mama Code, Celery Agent AG, Goga Manim, Tony Go, Alex Broten, Bosper TV, John N, Colin Lumsden, some of the YouTube members as well. You can also support the channel by becoming a YouTube member, the link of which is in the description of this video. Matt Hayes, Sai Says, Danny Kiriakou, Wayne Bonner, Dan THFC, Tony Go, Scott M, Gary McDonald, Tottenham Tantrum, Colin Lumsdale, Kenneth Tottenham Hotspur, and Dave Jones. Says he's watching Spurs play while wearing my suit this weekend. You know, it's a rich men's match kind of thing. I suppose that could be the case. Also, too, if you want to help, if you are a rich man and you want to help support the channel and you don't want to wear a suit, you can go over to THFCRants.com and pick yourself up some merch. I'm going to be adding some new stuff for Christmas. I've been saying that for a while, but I really need to do that. Holidays are coming up. If you want to get your Christmas presents in, we do ship out of the US and the UK. So if you want to grab some of that, you are more than welcome to do so. It is greatly appreciated when you do. Trying to see if pull up some team notes on Son Heung-min, who is one of the star captains or one of the main captain choices this week. To be able to do that, let's see, notifications. Nothing out of Alistair Gold yet. Nuno admits big issues for Newcastle games as Tottenham are hit by 5 minutes ago. I'll pull this up over here on the other screen. Football London. And see what we can do here. Switch over to the other screen. Lower the music a little bit so you can hear me better. And Nuno Espirito Santo has admitted the big issues mean he cannot pick the same Tottenham starting lineup against Newcastle as he did against Aston Villa. Revealed on Friday, the Spurs have been hit by the news of 2 players testing positive for COVID ahead of the Premier League match at Newcastle United. Before that, in his press conference on Friday, while he did not go into such detail, Nuno Espirito Santo did admit that there are big issues at Tottenham that will prevent him from picking the same starting 11 that beat Aston Villa on Sunday's Premier League game at Newcastle. Football.London understands that these issues are 2 positive case tests recorded by Tottenham players following the international break. Both players will now miss 3 games during their 10 days of isolation and will be retested on Saturday to confirm the results. It is understood that the club are currently confident that there are no close contact issues that would require other players to isolate. Although all of the returning Spurs international players, barring the 4 South American players, look to be back in training on Thursday in images taken at Hotspur away, Espirito Santo's admission that he will be forced to change the starting 11 did suggest that something had happened since. It's not easy. What we wanted was after the game against Villa, which I think was one of the best performances that we had in terms of the team. How we reacted when we conceded all these small steps that we took in the right direction. The idea was to immediately have a good week, try to establish and create routines among players, he said. That was not possible. So you stray here with a group of players that you try with a small numbers, just try and improve them individually, not in the aspect of the team because the squad was not here. So what we want now is to try to cover them. Like I said, we have problems and you're going to see that we have problems. We have small issues, big issues if you want, but the best way is to get a reference point, and the reference point was the game against Villa. So that should be our starting point for a tight schedule that we're going to be 4 games away from home. So starting from there, if we could, I'll be honest with you, we would repeat the same starting 11 because that's the best way to start something. It will not be possible, but then you have to try again, and try again. The concerning part, and they haven't listed the players that do have COVID, and here you have a picture of Oliver Skip, Niall John, Eric Dyer, and Heung-min Son, Tanguy Ndombele, Sergio Reguilon, Hugo Lloris enjoyed themselves during training on Thursday at Hotspur Way. But if Son Heung-min is one of the people who have tested positive for COVID-19, then that means Eric Dyer and all of these other players are now too at risk, it would seem. So I'm not sure that if the report that it's Son is necessarily the case. You also have Harry Kane there in the background as well. So if this is a picture from Thursday and Son tested positive for COVID today, this could be an issue. Trying to see if anybody in the comments has any more links. Kevin says, if it is Son, it means breakthrough because he thinks he is vaccinated. Definitely some very close contact. Says, I think Will and Cody Mack should do a forfeit for each Spurs game. Spurs win, Cody Mack has to be clean shaven. Spurs lose, Will has to wear a Donald Trump wig. I don't know if I have a Donald Trump wig. Talking Ball says, miss the bald face. Will, I like the bald face. The 2 players will be out for 3 games. That's what's being said, but focus. I don't know if this is Son though, Brian. I don't know if this is Son, but definitely be keeping a lookout for that. If we get any reports in earlier. And if you see anything, make sure you are checking your, if you have Son in your team, which I do, make sure you are checking this. Let's see. Supported boss said in the same way. Let's see if we got anything else on Twitter here. Two Spurs players. Let's search Twitter. This is the kind of information that is very needed for FPL. Let's see if Son here on his own Twitter account has said anything. We'll follow him. Hasn't posted anything in a while. Latest. Is it true that Son Heung-min is tested positive for COVID? Good news for us. If true, obviously, I hope he makes a speedy recovery. Obviously, a Newcastle fan there. Let's see. It's all within the last 8 hours. I'm not seeing anything here. 2 hours ago, DSL has tweeted Steve Bruce 1000th game on Sunday. Newcastle taken over by new owners. Big buzz around the club. Son Heung-min and Brian Hill have tested positive for COVID. I really don't think we would win, but now I know we won't win. DSL didn't think we're going to beat Newcastle. Two hours ago. Yeah, that's what I'm getting here. 2 hours ago. I'm not seeing a lot of different stuff. Let me flip the name around. Different languages that I don't speak. One hour ago, report Two Ming Son and Brian Gill both have COVID. FML Tottenham going to struggle badly. Everyone knows how important Son is to us. But Gill was superb. We're going to miss. I hope both of them recover. Subbed in Human about 30 minutes before I heard he has COVID-19. I think I need to let people be able to sub that person back out for free. It's quite unfair otherwise. Not official FPL. Let's see. Spurs Hub breaking 2 hours ago. Human Son and Brian have tested positive for COVID. I don't think that's possible. Otherwise, this makes big issues. If this is Thursday and they just tested today, then don't all of these players have to quarantine? Let's see. Could this be a tactic? Look, I mean, this picture says it was taken Thursday. Hotspur Way. So yesterday. Son is here, obviously shown in the picture. Brian Hill is not in the picture. Depends on the test tomorrow. read the Sky Sports article that you sent me. Let's see. Switch this out of my way here. Tottenham, 2 players test positive for coronavirus. Is that one word? Just curious. Following the international break, both men who trained with the group on Thursday were shown to have contracted COVID-19 after tests in the last 24 hours. A significant contingent of the club's playing squad have been away on international duty. Tottenham plans for Sunday Premier League trip to Newcastle have been plunged into chaos after 2 players tested positive for coronavirus. Both men who trained with the group on Thursday were shown to have contracted COVID-19 after tests in the last 24 hours. 2 unnamed players must now isolate for 10 days as per government rules, keeping them out of the game at St. James Park, a Europa Conference League match against Vitesse Arnhem and the London Derby at West Ham next weekend. Both players are due to be rested on Saturday as per standard procedure. The club are understood to be confident that no other players will have to isolate having come into close contact. In his press conference on Friday afternoon, Spurs boss Nuno Espirito Santo admitted that he has been left with huge issues following the latest international break. The news will bring frustration for Nuno, who saw his side suffer in the week of September's international fixture when some squad members returned injured. And 3 South American players went to Croatia for 10 days in order to avoid a hard quarantine in England. After the international break, there are always huge issues that happen. Nuno said, "We have problems, but I will not say before the game." Spurs South American quartet of Christian Romero, Giovanni Lo Celso, Davidson Sanchez, and Emerson Royal had not arrived back from international duty when Nuno addressed the media on Friday. Spurs boss said he has not ruled out using them, while the loss of 2 first-team players could increase the chances of them featuring, despite Romero, Lo Celso, and Emerson all having played in the early hours of Friday morning. They're traveling now, said Nuno. They will join us tomorrow on Saturday, and then we will see. The reports that we have is that they finished their games well. Some of them played 90 minutes. Davidson Chance says no, but what we are expecting is from them to join us, and then we'll see. Spurs signed off before the international break with a 2-1 win against Aston Villa, which left them 8th in the Premier League, just 4 points behind the leaders, Chelsea. Kane definitely needs to get back in the groove, that's for sure. So it does look like the 2 players did play on Thursday, or practiced on Thursday, that tested positive. It says both men who trained with the group on Thursday. So it could be Son, apparently. Kevin says, I agree that if Son has it, it makes 0 sense for them to post multiple pictures of him in training. COVID test doesn't even take that long. Depends on what tests they're doing. This is very interesting information. It says they tested positive today after the photos were taken and published yesterday. It's a good point. Good point. Good point. Well, let's take a look at the team score from last week. And this is going to be an issue. This guy right here. Not only for us winning the games, Kane is going to have to shake his cobwebs out of his boots and step up for sure. If we are missing Son and Hill, which means that we basically have no left wing. Does anybody know, do we have any team news on some of the other players who have been Yeah, that's what I would think. That's what I would think too, the chemist. Basically, everyone in that picture would need to isolate unless they tested negative. Very curious, very curious. Very interesting in and of itself. But last week, we scored here 49 points. It's kind of a tough week, but it was a good week, though, because we got a pretty decent green arrow. Pretty decent game week rank, and our overall rank sitting right at 1.5 million out of 8,392,791 players. Point scored wise, Roya 3 points, Duffy at 6 points, Regulon 2, Jensen 5. Brentford has been hot. Jensen is a pretty decent defender for a decent price. Yeah, it is definitely very lucky that we have an informed hurricane. I don't know if he's in form. He didn't even play over the international break? The 2 matches that I watched, he didn't even feature. So hopefully he's fresh. Oh wait, things went from bad to worse. That's right. Son was looking sharp here. My captain choice last week with Ronaldo was an upset that hurt me. I should have captained Salah, but him having the fixture that he had, thought Ronaldo was a better choice. Could have ended up with a bigger green arrow. Moved up in the table in the group up to 12th, up to 569th in that. Spurs family, which is our little creator leagues, held my position at 4th. Big green arrow moving all the way up. I think I was sitting at about 1.8 million before that game week. So about a 400,000 spot increase with only 49 points being scored. And taking a look at the group here. Pretty decent haul here for Mr. Hayden DeLuke. Let's take a look at his team. 61 points. Captain Lukaku, so not much better than when I got here, but Azpilicueta bringing in 10 points. Salah, Sanchez, and White. A lot of Arsenal players on your team, my friend. What's going on, Jerry? Of course. I know. I was being sarcastic as well. Mark Swift says, what got us Spurs pissed off? Apparently all of them, whichever one you believe in, if you believe in any at all, we've pissed them all off. So, definitely been an issue. Green arrow here for myself. Let's look at some other green arrows of players. Stuffed Crust FC, Kyle Rose, getting a green arrow with only 38 points on the week. Still pretty good. Hillside United, 53 points. Ramiro and Jaffet, Rob Hudson, 48, 49, 46, and 64. Big score of the week. It's like about 68 points for Conrad Little. Some red arrows here for people. Looks like some people had a tough week. 50 members. If you still want to join the league, there is a link in the description. It will kick you down to the bottom, but still a lot of football left. Still a lot of time to do that. Top 4 does win prizes, but Yes, that is true. I told you, every international break, we end up getting our butts kicked. Let's pick a team. I did make one change this week so far, earlier today. Changing in Sa. Roya does have, Brentford do have some tough fixtures coming up. It looks like I'm going to have to take a hit if I do want to end up pulling Son out here. Well, we know who we're going to make this switch here. Salah was already probably one of the top selections for captain. I was thinking based on Son's form that he probably had a good chance to score a brace tomorrow or this weekend. But apparently that's not going to happen right now. If it is true that he has COVID. But looking at the team we've got here, Jerry says he's enjoying third of the morning, but I'm sure all the WCs will bump me down. WCs. Wild cards. I took my wild card a few weeks back. Some people are doing them. If you haven't used your wild card yet, you may want to consider that. There's only about, I think, 5 or 6 weeks left before you lose it. So definitely be thinking about what wild card you are going to need to be using. Deadline day is Saturday the 16th at 0600. I mean, let's look at some possible options that we can make for Son here. I'm not going to lock it in yet. At 1.4 in the bank. I wanted to switch out Rafina, but it looks like Son may be the person that we need to do that here. Sorted by total points. Let's see. Mane 11.9. I might end up making that switch. Don't have enough. 11.4. So close. If I wouldn't have switched that keeper. Always my luck. If I switched that keeper earlier today, and with Sonny's price point, you have a lot of options. Yeah, but not a lot. They're gonna pull in the same amount of points that Son has. I had enough to bring in Mane. Carl says, logged into his FPL and so many reds. I smashed the free hit button. Have you already used your wild card? It's too late now if you smash the free hit button. A wild card probably would have been a better deal than using the free hit now. Let's see. This news bothers me. I could have brought in Mane earlier if I had done that. Now I got to rock a -8 if I want to bring in Mane. Use the wild card, getting Lukaku and Ronaldo in the team. It's too bad. Too bad. Let's see here. Could bring in Jota. How many minutes has this guy been getting lately? Decent amount of minutes. Jota may not be a bad look. I only wanted to take a -4. Really good fixture against Watford. Then I wouldn't have to be worried about losing that 0.1. I'll be able to bring some back in, no problem. If and when he becomes available again. But it looks like it's going to be out for at least 2 weeks. So if it is the case that Son is out, this is definitely going to be a switch that we want to make. For my bench and the formation that I'm playing, I don't have any midfield options. So I'd either have to go to 4 at the back, maybe 3-4-3 if I wanted to just bench Son. That's a lot of money to be sitting on the bench for 2 weeks. Where's my boy Reload when I need him? Who is Crystal Palace playing Arsenal tomorrow or this week on Monday? Right now, I'm probably thinking about Jota. Greenwood's been getting a lot of minutes too. Playing Leicester this weekend. That could be an option as well. Everton players are not really somebody that I'm looking to bring in with that fixture against West Ham. I do believe that they bring in I think they're playing Aston Villa. That's not going to be as easy as a fixture as you would think. Lonzo Blake last week. Southampton. After 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Did James come back? Well, bummer. This is going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough one this week. I'm going to have to hold off. I'm not going to make any changes right now. I'm going to be having to watch this all night long to see. Jerry puts it up there. Foden, Jota, Mount, Gundo, Grealish. Grealish may be one option, although he hasn't scored a lot of points. Looking at Grealish here and how many points he scored. They do have a good fixture, I do believe. Playing Burnley. Point-wise, goals scored, 2 goals scored, and 2 assists. Sitting on 26 points. To be honest with you, I think Jota is probably a better option. Grealish could be one. Let's see. Souček may not be a bad bet as well. Kovacic is getting a lot of minutes. Had 3 assists and 1 goal himself. He's another player that you could probably look into. And none of the other Chelsea midfielders are really so let's see. Havertz, Mount. I mean, Havertz could be an option too to replace Son, although he's only had 1 attack and return so far. Kovacic looks like somebody who's going to be a little bit more locked in. Looking at their fixture list, they've got Brentford and Norwich, so 2 good fixtures back to back. A lot. If you are on a free hit or a wild card, bringing in 3 Chelsea players would probably be a good idea. If you're looking to wild card or do a free hit, seeing that their fixture run is pretty solid, tripling up on Chelsea may not be a bad idea. Well, guys, it's a tough one. Yep. Chelsea has some good, solid upcoming fixtures as well. I was hoping to not have to take a hit this week, is what I was hoping to do. It looks like I'm going to be forced to take a hit. I think I'm going to try to hold off. I would recommend the deadline here in the United States is 6 a.m. tomorrow. I would recommend for people to kind of just sit, hold, and wait. But let me see here. Let's see. Let's invite some people to the show. Let's kind of spin this off into a Spurs show. Talk about a little bit about Son. So if anybody wants to join the show, I'll be adding the link to the show to the list of my groups. If anybody wants to join, I'll be throwing it in the chat here as well. If you want to join, if you want to click on and join and talk about the COVID issue between the folks, you can go ahead and do that, as we've got a lot of stuff going on. Where's my WhatsApp? If anybody wants to join, I have placed the links in all of the friendly places. Go ahead and throw it in the chat here too. If anybody wants to join the show, just click on the link below. Verify yourself on YouTube. Come on in and have your say. While we're doing that, try to go back and look at some of these comments. And see what's going on. Live now, if anybody wants to join. Alrighty. Try to see if I can see if any new news has popped up about Son here. Jump back over to the other view here, see if we can get any. Around that look really similar. Who did he get COVID from? Are there any more reports out of South Korea about any of that stuff going on? No new reports out yet. Tottenham Hotspur. Give me another striker in the summer. Definitely was gross negligence. Maybe they're too embarrassed. Club is cursed. That is correct. Let's see. Set ink. Chronicle Live. Tottenham Hotspur pair ruled out of Newcastle United trip. What's going on? Tottenham Hotspur preparations for their trip to Newcastle United have been disrupted as two players have tested positive for COVID-19. The pair, who have not been named, were reportedly revealed to have the virus by test within the last 24 hours. What inside source is reporting that this is Sun, though? That's what I want to know. Right? This is very important for FPL and for our club in general. Both men who trained with the group on Thursday were shown to have contracted COVID-19 after tests in the last 24 hours. So that means they caught COVID in the last 24 hours. Very interesting indeed. Huge issues. Other team news. I don't know, man. I do not know. PC Matt says it is not official. I just want to know where they're getting the information from. Stevie B is fit to play, apparently. That's why I switched over to this cam so I could look. Hotspur team news. Switch back over here. So Ben Davies and Steven Bergwijn have returned to training, and Nuno Espirito Santo will make a late decision on the potential participation of our South American players as we return to Premier League action at Newcastle United on Sunday. Stevie picked up an ankle injury in our Europa Conference League group opener on the 16th of September and has been out for a while. Speaking after training on Friday, Nuno told us we have problems like all the international breaks. They disturb, interrupt things, and we have problems. Ryan hasn't joined the group yet. He's doing his physical work with sports science. Stevie and Ben are with us now working normally. They are much better, and it's just a matter of time for them to get to the right fitness levels. But what is that? It's like one of the ugliest shirts I've ever seen. Man, this is tough. Link is in the chat. If anybody wants to jump on and join me in the show, we'll have a little chit chat about what's going on. I'm going to pin it to the top. You don't have to. We'll just do a Q&A. If you guys have any questions for me or anything you want to ask me to talk about, whether FPL or Spurs related, go ahead and get those in the comments now. Unfortunate news going on at the moment that Heung-Min Son very well may have COVID-19. I'll be checking this overnight for you guys in the UK. Since I'll be up late, you can either hit me at Twitter, tag me at Twitter. If you guys hear any news that I don't hear, and if I see anything, I will put up a community post in the YouTube channel late tonight to see if we get any more news on the breaking story that very well possibly could be our most important player who has tested positive for COVID-19. I'd really like to know where they're getting this information from. What source are they using? Let's see. Kenki looks happy. More news of the day. Talking about Collins joined us.
What's up, brother?
Got some weird noise going on, man.
Oh, no, sorry. Fixed?
Yeah, I think so.
Wonderful. Yeah. So, how's life? Anything else? I've had to be away for a couple minutes. Have you found anything else out about Son and Hill?
No, I'm looking now. Let's add Mark to the show as well. I'm trying to look now and find and see.
Can you
Reload. Where you been all show, man? Koi comments. Son and Gil test positive for COVID.
Reddit. Yeah, I'd seen that as well. That's just the Paulo Keith thing being parroted again.
Trying to see. There's nothing in the last 34 minutes. Who knows where the goal is?
Colin, is your mic all right, mate?
Huh?
I was saying to Colin, is his mic all right?
It's a little crackly at times, but how you doing, Mark? Yeah, we can't hear you, man. It's like crackle, 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 crack, crack. What are you making of the news, Mark?
It's just out of luck, isn't it, mate? It really is. I don't want to cry so much, but it really is. It could only happen to us. It's just the way it is, mate. What do you make of it, Colin?
I'm hoping that it's not true. I mean, the source is not Reddit, LMAO. Are you serious in thinking it was? Well, it's clearly a source that has been posted to Reddit. I mean, I understand how Reddit works, but yeah. I hope that it's not true. I'm kind of with Will. Judging by the pictures that we've seen, I don't really understand how Sonny could be one of the ones without other people in the team also needing to quarantine or isolate or what have you.
I mean, they did say that it was people who practiced on Thursday. So, and it was 2 people who were part of training on Thursday have contracted it in the last 24 hours. But it's a bit confusing how they could have been in training on Thursday, got COVID, unless they like went somewhere or did something. But I don't see Son is not the type to like go out on the town and catch COVID. I
guess it could be that the original tests. I know that the COVID tests aren't exactly the most foolproof, I guess you could say. And it could be that they maybe passed their initial one and then upon further testing they failed. That's always a possibility, I guess. I've been choosing like not to believe it because I didn't want to, but it's looking more and more like maybe that is the truth.
So BBC Premier League has BBC Premier League has said that Newcastle United versus Tottenham Hotspur, 2 unnamed Spurs players test positive for COVID-19. They don't list any names. Again, this is just another article from BBC Sport. I'm curious I'm curious why there's not more news out there. If this is actually Son and Hill, there's not a lot of information out there on it, right? Very few tweets, some tweets from people who just tend to tweet and retweet everything.
Well, I didn't hear about it until Brian said it in the chat.
Yeah.
We had heard about it. I was on a stream with Tommy earlier about 3 hours ago, and Jamie was actually the one. I don't know if you know Jamie, but he streams also. But he was the one that read it out to us right at the end of Tommy's stream. He kind of broke it to us. And it was an Alistair Gold tweet that originally said that 2 Spurs players had COVID. And then after that, I think Paul O'Keefe was the next person to come out, and he was the one that named the names. And that's the only journalist type person that I've seen like naming actual names. But I also had to look for like an hour.
So unreliable though.
Exactly. About 50% of what that dude says isn't true. So.
But yeah, man, I mean, it's trying to find any more news I can find on it. All I'm getting is 2 unnamed Spurs players. Let's see.
But surely most of the team's been at a double jab by now, surely.
Well, I mean, Son too, especially being South Korean. I don't think he would have been allowed to participate in the chemist. If I'm wrong, I don't think he would have been allowed to participate with the Korean national team unless he was vaccinated, because Korea has like an 86 to almost 90% vaccination rate.
And there was a post on, I know we're going back to Reddit, but there was a Reddit post when he got his vaccinations and like pictures of him like getting vaccinated and stuff. So I'm like 99% sure that he's been vaccinated. But I mean, there are those breakthrough cases. Luckily, though, if he's been vaccinated, the symptoms shouldn't be too bad, and he shouldn't be out for too long. I was just afraid of long COVID whenever I heard the news, because that can really mess with a player's career. We've seen.
Still, you got any secret information?
What about? I wasn't listening. I literally just got you. I got a text. Got a text message saying join now. It's like, okay.
So apparently Son. So 2 players. It is affirmed by the club that 2 players have tested positive for COVID-19 since training on Thursday. So that means in the last 24 hours. There are some reports that it's Son and Brian Hill, but nothing. Only O'Keefe has said that it's Son and Hill. and there's not a lot of information out there.
Okay, so the easy answer is to say we're going to find out on Sunday. Has anything been said on Sky Sports News? Because they wouldn't say it unless they knew for sure.
So Sky Sports News did put out an article, but it simply just says that 2 players who participated in training on Thursday. So we know it is somebody who participated in training on Thursday. At first, when I heard the news, I was like, well, that doesn't make sense because here's Son in a picture holding, hugging Eric Dyer from training on Thursday. So if Son has COVID, shouldn't that mean that Eric Dyer and everybody in that picture needs to quarantine as well?
I don't think Son was at training on Thursday because he's playing for South Korea, wasn't he? He scored a goal.
No, he was there on Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah, he played for South Korea on Tuesday, I think.
Well, do you know what? I don't give a shit. I don't care because there's so much going on now again at Spurs that honestly, like, I'm fed up of Tottenham. I seriously, I'm falling out of love with this club, man. Players going on tour, coming back with COVID, quarantining, can't play for us. 7th choice manager, another billionaire club coming into the fray next season. It's like we will. It doesn't matter what we do, even if Son's fit. Are we going to win the league? Are we going to get top 4? No. I'll just give up, man. Honestly, I'll give up. Enoch out.
I would just like to win the fucking game on the weekend. I don't really care about winning the league. I just want to take points and not be embarrassed every weekend. And having
we got embarrassed by Arsenal and Chelsea. And what
yeah, and do we want to keep getting it? I mean, I see where you're coming from, and I see why you're so disheartened by everything. But surely you can't just keep wanting it to keep going down. I don't really understand your point of view here, man.
Well, it's not going to keep going down. We're going to be average, mid-table. What do you think Tottenham are going to do this season? Realistically, what do you think we're going to do?
Top 6.
Yeah.
You think we're going to get top 6? Yeah.
Well, 7th maybe.
All right.
And
6.
Go pretty deep
7.
in the Europa Conference League.
Okay, so the best we can do is the Europa Conference League, right? So give a shit if we lose to Newcastle. Honestly, that's not Europa Conference League game. Whether we win or lose against Newcastle, it doesn't. I won't be upset or I won't be happy because I know we're a mid-table club now. If we win the Europa Conference League, I'll be happy because it's a trophy and it means we're in the Europa Cup next year. Because I don't think we're going to get top 6. I just don't. So I'm with you on the Europa Conference League. I think that'd be great. I think that'd be brilliant. But that's it, man. That's it. And then the year after, Kane's going to go. Newcastle are going to spend 400 million. It's like, oh my God, please. Just get rid of these owners, man. Levy out, Enoch out. Sorry, Will. Sorry to come on your show and completely depress the situation.
No, I'm actually, I don't know how reliable this is, but there's an article from, I don't even know what language this is. Las Yandas. Let me switch over to this other cam here real quick.
Well, look, it's got to be players that have been abroad, right? So how many of our players went abroad? It could be Lloris. He went abroad, didn't he? Wasn't he playing for France?
Yeah, but there is a Fantasy JP Premier Eduardo Huminson jornadaperfecta.com. I don't know what language this is. Spanish, Portuguese. I can't tell. I don't speak Portuguese. But it says that he's positive for COVID. It has Heung-min Son and Brian Hill listed as positive for COVID. I don't think that this is an actually news site. It looks like it's an FPL site. But they've already declared delantero positivo en COVID. That's Son in them.
Yeah, well, it was to be expected. Our players are going on international duty to South America, to Asia, across Europe. How can one of them not get COVID or not be in quarantine? It's I've just come back from Cyprus and I've had to do passenger locator forms, PCR tests. I've had to government forms. They're checking you at the airport. You've got to wear a mask everywhere you go. You know, these football players get very special treatment. I think they're not
Yeah, how does he?
the same
How
as
does he get back
most
into the
people.
country negative? Go to training on Thursday and catch it at training.
No, he didn't. He didn't catch it at training. It takes time for the virus to incubate. So once it incubates, they don't. That's why you're supposed to do a day 2, a day 8, and a 2-week test, because at any point the COVID could be detected. So footballers get tested every day. So they probably caught it on day like 2 or day 4 of him being back.
Yeah, or like, because if he got back on Wednesday, that he may have like caught it on the airplane or, something like that. So, interesting.
If he is out, we really, I mean, obviously we've needed him this whole time, but Kane really needs to step up. We really need Kane to like provide something on the pitch, because without Son, I don't know who's going to be contributing much of anything offensively, I guess.
Oh my God. You can't predict.
So,
I think we're going to draw. I said, whose show was on? I was on Tommy's show. I said to him that Newcastle will have a really excited crowd. They've sold out all their tickets. First time in ages. It's a full house. They're going to be so highly charged. Steve Bruce is going to want to prove a point as well. And we're going to go there. They're shit, Newcastle. We should be smashing them. But I've got this feeling we're going to go there without our full strength squad. We're going to be lacking. And I think we're going to draw. We won't lose because they're if we lose to Newcastle, Nuno needs to be sacked because Newcastle are terrible. I think we'll draw. I hope we win, but I think we'll draw. 1-1, 2-2.
Without Son, though, it's tough, man.
I was a lot more confident in a win before this news broke. That's for sure.
I thought it was guaranteed win before this news broke.
I'll take the draw this point.
Yeah.
Who's the letter? Who's that? The letter M.
Mark Swift.
It's me.
Ah, Mark, how you doing, man? You all right?
Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah, did you have fun on Twitter earlier?
I've blocked everyone. Do you know what, Mark? I've got a private message from another Spurs fan saying just let it be, and I said, do you know what? I'm just going to block everyone. That way, I don't have to hear it because I can't help it. I will reply. I can't help it. I'm not disciplined enough.
Man, that went on and on. Oh.
I don't get. Our fan base is so weird. It's unbelievable.
You'd think.
We've got maybe that's why we support them. Maybe we're fucking weird as well.
I sure as fuck am. So.
Yeah, that's
this guy has a good point. Maybe we should be looking at other South Korean internationals, seeing if anybody else is testing positive.
Yeah, but it doesn't work like that, though.
Cody's
listen, don't stress over it. We'll find out on Sunday. It could just be a cunning ploy to trick Newcastle into a false sense of security.
Man, wouldn't that be sad if we were like resorting to that, though? I know you were kind of joking
still in charge.
But...
That might be the case.
Listen, Sir Alex Ferguson won league titles doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
What? Having Wayne Rooney wear a boot when he's not hurt?
Well, he stopped. It was his way of stopping them playing for international duty. He used to exaggerate the injuries to keep them. You know, so Sir Alex Ferguson, I can't remember the player, but he once went up to the medic and told the medic,
the medic what?
Now.
you look deep in thought still. He's frozen. You're back now.
Did you miss everything I just said?
Yeah, you froze, bro.
So Alex
Pragmatic.
Ferguson once told a player on the treatment room table, he told the doctor, tell the player that he's not ready to play yet because I don't want him to play today. I want him to be fresh for the following week. So I just need you to lie to the player and tell the player that he's not quite recovered. So Alex Ferguson used to do that stuff. That the man was a winner. He's just like Jose. They were winners.
Yeah.
They were a bit different.
But I mean, without Son, we don't really have. We don't have anyone.
We got
Got
Cecily
Bergwijn.
not mine.
Got Dele
I
Alli.
mean, Bergwijn's not really fit.
Got Dele
We have
Alli.
Dele Alli playing on the left.
We've got who else scores goals? Dane Scarlett. Apparently, he's just as good as Carlos Vinicius. Apparently, just as good.
I guess you could have Scarlett playing on the left.
Our bench is going to look mighty thin in attacking areas, regardless of who we start with. That's going to be one thing. We're not going to have many options off the bench.
It's okay. We've got Harry Winks. We've got Doherty. We've got Ben Davies. Some real talent. Really good
It's
players.
actually-
Galini, target
actually,
man.
yeah.
We'll just play Galini as a target man and hope that works out.
We should play Eric Dyer up front and just confuse the shit out of everyone.
I mean, if this is the case and this happens, is it not time to see a 3 at the back and just play like a 3-5-2 and just have Son or Kane and Mora up top with like an Ndombele, Højbjerg, Skip?
I could see the merit in that.
Well, is he going to do that? Is this manager going to do that?
I mean, that's what I would do. But
I know
I'm
what you
smarter
do,
than the
but
average bear.
He seems awfully married to the 4-3-3. I mean, I know we didn't play in a 4-3-3 against Villa, but he seems pretty married to the 4-3-3, which is odd considering that was never his MO before. But
With Emerson
Well,
too,
He
would
used to
have
do it in
play another way.
Valencia. He used to play 4-3-3 when he was manager at Valencia.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
it's like, what do you do then? I mean, if you don't have Son, you don't have Hill, right? Bergwijn not being fit, you know what I mean? It's really kind of a tough situation that we're in right now, to be honest with you.
Well, we've been in a tough situation since we bought 5 players in the summer and none of them played against Arsenal. That just shows you how good that transfer window was. Not one of them played against the biggest game of the season, in the biggest game of the season. It's crazy, man. It's crazy,
Definitely a crazy time, crazy thing to be involved in. But I mean, it's just annoying that these type of problems keep happening and there's nothing that we can do about it, because the people in charge of buying players continue to make mistakes. And
even more than that, I just think the whole international duty right now is fucked. Just in general, like why? I mean, I understand why it needs to carry on and why it needs to go on. It's just we've suffered a lot from it, and I don't know. You think that eventually, like, our luck would change and we would make it through an international break without some kind of catastrophe, but that doesn't seem to be the case.
no, it definitely does not seem to be the case, unfortunately.
If you look at the fixtures this weekend, this is not a weekend to drop points. It really isn't.
No, all the big clubs have a pretty easy fixture run right now.
Yeah, so this isn't the weekend to be dropping points and shit, man.
Aaron,
Liverpool
what's up,
playing
dude?
Watford, United's playing Leicester, which haven't been playing very well. Chelsea's playing Brentford. Let me just looking at the table here.
I mean, Arsenal Crystal Palace is a bit of a that could go either way because Vieira's got them actually doing quite well.
I think Brentford could take points off of Chelsea too, but
I mean, City's playing Burnley. Brighton's playing Norwich.
Are City
only
playing
team-
Burnley? Are City playing Burnley at Burnley?
No, at City.
Okay, yeah, they're gonna smash them.
And then Brighton's got Norwich away. I mean, the only teams that are ahead of us that look like they're going to probably drop points. You got Everton. They're at home versus West Ham. I don't see Everton winning that one. If not, or if they do, it would be very lucky. Chelsea are away to Brentford. Only person behind us with real easy matches. I don't think it's Crystal Palace is going to be an easy one for Arsenal. Manchester United away to Leicester. I mean, they may drop points, but I doubt it.
If Bitcoin keeps going up the way it's going, then in 3 years' time, I'll be able to buy Tottenham.
There you go.
I wish I would have held on to all my Bitcoin from years ago, but instead, I spent it.
Dude, crypto to the moon and buy Levy out.
I added up how much money I would have if I kept my Bitcoins, and it was gross. It's disgusting. Whoops.
Yeah, Colin, when I was living in Australia, like when Bitcoin first came out, I had sold my apartment in Ireland. I had a bunch of coin in the fucking bank account. I was about to invest in Bitcoin, and my dad said, no, let's buy a fucking gaff in Brooklyn, right? This development property. I lost all my fucking money, man. I was still kicking him up the balls over that one. Yeah, fuck, man. But by the way, I don't know why my avatar or video is not coming on there. I'm talking to you guys on the phone, but I'm watching you on the television, and it's just like a white circle. But look,
we see you.
Back.
We can see you.
Oh, can you? All right, okay. Maybe
Yeah.
it's just my fuck. I have to refresh it. But oh fuck, man. I mean, I got off a 2-hour phone call with the missus. Yeah, time of the month. She's not in a good mood. I decided to tune in to Irish Hotspur and get buzzed up for the weekend, only to find out like we're down 6 fucking players by the looks of it because of this fucking poxy international break. Yeah, well, the four South Americans and Sonny and Hill because of COVID, and then Bergwijn's still got a strain, so let's make a 7 potentially.
Well, Bergwijn's back in training, in full training. I actually read the team news about 25 minutes ago. Bergwijn and Ben Davies are back, so Steven Bergwijn should be available for selection. I wouldn't necessarily say that he's fit to start, but he is back in full training. So
Ryan
Sessegnon is still.
Do you know
we're gonna have Dele and Ndombele in the midfield again? Like, I mean, those two lads cannot play together. That's. I don't even want to see one of them on the pitch, man. But the pair of them, like, that's. Sorry, I'm not in a good mood. Go on, Stel.
I hear you, man.
No, I was just gonna say, like, when I hear fans praising Bergwijn and saying, yeah, we got Bergwijn this, Bergwijn that, it just reminds me of the 1990s when we were shit. And we used to cling on to 1 or 2 players that we thought were decent, and they were never decent, but they were just the most energetic of a crap bunch. And it just feels like that again. Like, what's Steven Bergwijn done? What's he really done at Tottenham? Let's be honest. We spent £30 million on him. What's he done? Scored 2 cracking goals, and that's it. He runs around a lot, doesn't create, doesn't score, doesn't shoot, I don't know, He's just that player that everyone's hoping comes good. They're hoping he becomes like Ronaldo, and they just shoot rockets up his arse. He's great. Oh yeah, we got Bergwijn back. He's not going to make a difference to us.
But that's how bad. That's how far we've fallen. I mean, that we're putting our hope into Bergwijn. You can't fucking hit the back of a net. I mean,
Bergwijn
sure he's got
pretty
ability
good until that Liverpool match where he missed like 2 should have been goals.
He's scared to shoot though.
Yeah, he's fucked. I don't know what happened to him after that, but that was the game. I mean, I think you probably remember the Liverpool match. Kane missed a sitter as well, but he didn't get the fucking death threats and shit on Twitter. But yeah, I remember the match Bergwijn had a couple clear-cut chances, missed them. We ended up either tying or losing to Liverpool. Losing, I'm pretty sure. And just ever since then, he's looked like a shell of the player he was whenever he came.
He was never good. He just scored a great goal on his debut, and that was it.
Yeah. As did Dyer, yeah, against West Ham on his debut, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that was
Winning
sweet.
goal.
Playing
Yeah.
right back, ended up somehow on the left side, and that was
Yeah.
fun.
Look
Looks
what
like
we
they're
are,
gonna keep-
lads.
Say what?
No, go ahead, Will. Sorry.
No, I was saying it looks like Newcastle's not going to sack Steve Bruce at least this week. So he will be in charge of the match on the weekend.
If we beat Newcastle 3-4-0, they'll sack him because they can't. They cannot afford for Newcastle to get relegated. That would be an absolute disaster for this Saudi group. That would be the
It'd be
biggest
fantastic,
disaster.
though, man. It would be
Collins
so
would
good
be
for
hilarious.
everybody else.
It'd be
Except for the championship, holy shit, man! They would just. I wouldn't want to be a championship team coming up against them next year.
Here's a question for you, right? Do you think the Newcastle situation is good or bad for Tottenham, right? And the reason I ask is because now there's another multi-billionaire player in the Premier League. It just means that Tottenham are definitely not going to get top four again, or let alone win the Premier League, right? We're just so going to be up against it that maybe do you think it might just force these assholes to leave and just sell the club, knowing now that they don't have a chance?
Well, I mean, right now though, and this is the problem that I brought up in a video last week when this news kind of broke, is that if you're a billionaire, a big money billionaire, why would you buy Tottenham when you can go buy a cheaper club and then just make them big? You know what I mean? Like, for instance, Newcastle is a little bit different. They have a pretty big stadium already. The only thing that would even be attractive would be the stadium itself. But that I don't think is worth 3.5 billion pounds, which is what they were trying to, charge people for. But why not just go out and buy, West Ham and
Queen's Park Rangers, man. Yeah, I mean, for fuck's sake. It's daft.
Yeah.
3.5 billion.
or Leicester?
Like what kind of overvaluation is that? I mean, they're obviously doing that to
They're
turn
obviously
people off.
making money and don't want to sell. Yeah, exactly. They're making money. They're lining their pockets. They have no reason to sell.
They got the
his
NFL.
investments- Yeah, exactly. He hasn't even started really raking in the cash. So I don't think there's much incentive for ENIC to sell, even if we're not going to be in the Champions League, even if we're not going to be. And still, I think it's going to take a while for Newcastle to get up to those heights. I don't think that in the next year that we're going to see Newcastle be like a force.
I'd say about 48 months, probably.
Chelsea did it in 2 years under Abramovich.
Yeah, 48 months is what I would say.
Chelsea did it in 2 years.
Chelsea were kind of
Newcastle-
building. Yeah.
Newcastle because
You're breaking up pretty hard. You're
yeah,
roboting pretty
we're
hard.
at a better starting point. But Newcastle, because they've been making a net profit for so many years, they're allowed to spend easy money. So these new they can spend 200 million in January if they want.
What type of players?
Say that
are
again,
attracted
Sal.
to
Sorry,
Chelsea?
mate.
You're saying they get you're roboting real hard still. So every other word's kind of cutting out. But yeah, they I think they can spend up to 200 million or something like that in January. I think they'll probably do that. Hopefully, we'll be able to sell them some of our garbage. And,
I think.
Oh,
I think,
Jesus,
yeah, we
give
will
them
be.
Deli and Undombele, please. I mean,
Belly and Winks
God.
even. Fuck.
yeah,
Oh,
Deli and Winks.
yeah.
I just think that for a while they're going to have trouble attracting the top talent, sort of like how City did whenever City first got their takeover. It was a while.
Well,
before,
not really, because they'll just pay the wages. They'll say, "Here's £300,000 a week. Here you come."
Yeah.
What would you?
Man
they would
City
have. They have to pick
will
someone
beat
that's struggling at their current team. They can't take someone that's like a star at, say, I don't know, any of the top 4 clubs, and I don't think convince them to leave for Newcastle for wages right away. I mean, I could be completely wrong. Maybe I've got my lily white tinted glasses on, but I just
no, but they won't do that. They'll go and try and buy Harry Kane and Aubameyang. They'll go and try and buy a Declan Rice. They'll try and buy players from like, 5 from 5th to 10th, the good players, and they'll try and buy Hugo Lloris from Tottenham. It's a good goalkeeper. They'll do that, and they'll work their way up into top 4. When they get into top 4, then they'll go crazy because they've got Champions League.
It's going to take a couple of years, though, man. It's like when, like, City at least had the foundation of, what was it, Thaksin Shinawatra or whatever that Thai fella was, and he was bringing in players, and they kind of had something to build on. I don't think Newcastle are just going to jump from fucking, tier Z to tier A overnight. It's definitely going to take time. I can't see Harry Kane going there, for fuck's sake. If he wants to.
Well, Dara, whilst it takes Newcastle, let's say 3-4 years, what are Spurs going to do in those 3-4 years?
Oh, we'll just be doing exactly what we're doing now. Looking about in the transfer market.
And there you go. Whilst Newcastle are building, we'll be, building for the future. Nuno will probably be gone in a year's time. Harry Kane will be gone.
Pochettino will probably be back, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how you want to look at that.
Do you know what?
Who?
I've always wanted Poch back, but I don't want him to come back. I don't want him to come back now. I think
what's he coming back to? Like, we've got a worse team now than we had when he was there.
I think they're going to let him down again, man. I don't want that.
Yeah, I just don't think he's having a great time at PSG. I'm trying to fit in like what's essentially 3 luxury players into your squad every week.
Yeah.
I hope Poch goes to Newcastle. That would be great.
Yeah, right. I thought they were getting Conte in or something like that. Is what I had heard. That's a rumor.
Conte's just sitting about in his arse, man. He doesn't seem to want any job at the moment.
He just wants cash, and he wants people who are going to buy in the players that he wants. I mean, Newcastle's kind of a blank slate. He could pretty much build to whatever team he wanted, and he would have the pull to bring top players there, even if they're not in a position of in a European position, right? So,
and they're talking to Campos for director of football, which is the guy we should have got. That's the director of football we should have.
Yeah.
And what happened with the Brendan Rodgers link?
All right, take it easy, Colin. Thanks for coming on, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Cheers, Colin, man. Talk to you soon.
Crackly, Mike.
The Brendan Rodgers link with Newcastle, that fizzled out yesterday, I believe, yeah?
I mean, why would he leave Leicester? I mean, Leicester isn't doing that great this season. I think with
Brendan Rodgers.
Frozen, honestly.
Is it my internet or is it Stell's?
It's Stell's.
Okay.
He's back.
Sorry. I think Brendan Rodgers, he went to Liverpool and he didn't have he did quite well there, but then it kind of fizzled out. And I think maybe he's just a bit scarred from going to those elite clubs. So anywhere where there's big money, I don't think that's his cup of tea. I think he likes to be at the club where he gets money, but it's not so. The pressure is not going to be so intense, and it will be. The pressure at Newcastle will be huge when they spend money.
Yeah, it's going to be big. Although I think their first manager is probably going to, especially for the fans at least, they're probably going to feel like they can do whatever because they haven't had anything in such a long time that they're going to be happy with pretty much, anything other than what they've got, right? So.
We're always going to be the same as what happened to Man City. A club that doesn't do anything, and within 3-4 years, they're challenging for the league. They've got all the best players. They've got top manager, and it's just they're going to build up the stadium. They're going to build up the training ground. They're just going to eventually, someone like Nagelsmann or some top manager will end up at their club, and they'll just be
test.
Yeah,
man, it sounded like my mic was clipping, so I'm just trying to get that through. I'm surprised you guys can even hear me because I have myself muted, but apparently if I'm in the setup thing, it doesn't do that. But
I can hear you clearly.
Yeah, I can hear you well. I don't know where my picture ain't up though on screen, but
yeah, no, but I was Just trying to set that up. It sounds better now. It doesn't sound like it's clipping anymore. So,
do you want to go down the morality conversation tonight about Saudi owners in Newcastle, or are we going to keep it more lighthearted?
I think Bob's doing a big show on that.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
Bob's doing a big show on that tomorrow. Cody Mack says you need to get some sun. Too pasty. I don't know why it's not coming through on the live stream. It's just a white circle. It says the picture is broken. I don't know why. I can see your picture here just fine in StreamYard.
Do you know what, Dara? Whilst all of Europe and the rest of the world voted for Qatar to have the World Cup illegally, and whilst we've already allowed Abramovich and Sheikh Mansour in, this Saudi Arabian thing means nothing. It's just the corruption has already infiltrated over the past 10 years. This is just another layer of bullshit.
Yeah, I don't know how into finances you are, but no, London is the biggest money laundering city in the world. Yeah. And you look at these guys, Abramovich, the Qataris. No, it is. You can look that up in the Financial Times. And these guys aren't buying into football for the love of football. They're buying into it to launder their cash. Yeah, to wash their dirty money. It's the same way I shouldn't really say this name because I put my life in jeopardy if I say it. But the Kinahan family are controlling boxing at the moment, right? They're one of the biggest drug mafias in all of Europe, an Irish family. And they're based in Dubai. They're laundering all their money. They're in with Tyson Fury. The other fella, Hearn, what's his name? Not Eddie Hearn, the son. So
Barry.
There's an awful lot. Barry Hearn. And Sky Sports are involved as well. And they all turn a blind fucking eye. And the same way the English government are turning a blind eye when they get Abramovich and they get fucking... all the Arabian money. That's literally, as Colin would say, blood money.
But this is why, that's exactly why no one should complain about the Saudis taking over Newcastle, because this is nothing new.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing that's been going on for years, right? So
it's nothing new, but it's fucking completely wrong.
Every country this shit is happening. Every country this is happening. It's just...
I mean, it's not like Joe Lewis got his cash from a moral way either, right? I mean,
selling
the British pound during
Joe Lewis is invested with the owners of Man City. They do projects together. He's friends with the owners. They're invested in stuff together.
Yeah. I mean, somebody has said, I don't know if it's true or not, but I saw it on Twitter. Maybe it was you still that Joe Lewis and Daniel Levy were trying to look for people to buy the club during the whole, between the time that the Premier League rejected Newcastle's buyout offer and was trying to find a thing as well. But I mean, I just don't see why in today's market you would want to buy a club for £3.5 billion when you can go buy one for 200 million and just spend 3.5 billion on it and make it what you want it to be.
They're just haggling, man. 3.5 is just the starting price, I mean, that'll come down to a lot less than that.
Nobody will buy us.
Yeah, it's way too
for
expensive.
mega money and then invest. Listen, we don't need a billionaire. We need a super billionaire now. If we're going to compete with Newcastle and City, we need a super billionaire. We need Jeff Bezos. We need Apple. We need We need crazy sovereign wealth. I don't know. China. We need China.
It's fucking rotten. It's fucking rotten. I mean, Kim Jong-un could take fucking over, I mean,
what's happening
like,
now,
where do you draw the line?
What's going to happen now for us anyway is that it's not going to be some, Arab country that comes in and buys us to invest. It's going to be some American company that buys us just so they can make money, right? It's going to end up being a Glazer, Arsenal, Liverpool type of a thing where they don't put any money in and they just take money out, right?
But from a morality point of view, I far prefer Jeff Bezos than an oligarch or no offense to anybody from the Middle East, but an oil baron or blood money or shit like that. I mean, I would far prefer an American owner.
Yeah, but I mean, the club's just going to go further down the table, though. That's what I'm saying. They're not going to put any money in.
We missed the boat under Poch, man. If we invested then, we would have won the league, won the Champions League, perhaps. We would have been a much bigger club with a global fan base, bigger, would be a sustainable model that generates more income from the global fan base that we repump in and we keep ourselves relevant. But because we missed that opportunity, that was a last chance, we've now allowed everyone else to scale up. And now look, now we're in the gutter. Now we're the football shit. Like, yeah, whatever. The Spurs Supporters Trust, they're irrelevant now. The most irrelevant supporters trust is our one now.
Yeah, Muppets.
Waste the space. I watched. Do you know they did a show on the Last Word on Spurs yesterday? It was comedy. They were sitting there saying, "You've got to stand up and you've got to speak up, and you know, you don't let people shut you down." And I'm like, "But hold a minute. You've been shut down by Spurs. What are you doing about it? You're telling everyone to keep fighting. You don't come to the protests. You don't promote the protests. You refuse to get involved and create your own protests for us to get behind. You're just being bullied left, right, and center. And you're telling everyone don't get pushed about, but you're getting pushed about. It's like it was, and no one on the show said to them, so what do you think about protesting? Why don't you protest? You've tried everything else. It's clearly not working. I just sat there watching it thinking, this show is ridiculous. It's just everyone's just trying to show that they're somebody, but you're all nobodies. Like us, we're nobodies, man.
How did the NFL protest go?
Well, I was away. I was out of the country, but from what Brian said, there was about 10 people there, maybe 20. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, Brian was pretty disappointed, man. I got a couple of messages from him during it, and he said literally people were walking by, taking selfies and going on and buying their fucking hot dogs. And I don't know, I read a report that Tottenham made 18 million or something out of that NFL game. And the big question is that money going back into the squad? You know, is that going to go back into the development of the team? Is it going to go back into buying players, or is it just going to go into fucking Levy and fucking Lewis's pockets and the investment firm? You know, and there's no accountability.
Even if the 18 million does go back in, it's not enough. Skriniar's 45 million. So
yeah,
we're still short.
Well, let's fucking sell Deli and Undon, man. We get Skriniar.
Sell them. Winks.
I mean, if Kane comes in, if Newcastle comes in for Kane, do we sell him?
What's he worth now? What's he worth at the moment? The way I debated, by the way, me and Marcelo argued with both Will and Stell about Kane's attitude. And boys, in hindsight, I was fucking wrong. All right. Well, I was saying, no, Kane's. I said Kane. Me and Marcelo were saying Kane's going to fucking turn up. He's going to bang in 20, 25 goals at least. And yeah, and you boys were on the opposing side. And I have to admit, I got it fucking wrong. His head's not in it for Tottenham, and his head's not in it for fucking England when you watch him play lately.
Did he even play during the international break for England?
Yeah.
No.
He did. He played against Hungary. Yeah, he was shit. He didn't turn
up. Listen, whatever happens, Harry Kane's gone next year. He won't be. This is his last season. There's no way. So we might as well. If someone gives us big money now, we should just take it because we know he's going to go anyway.
Yeah.
But big money, man. The guy's probably only worth about, at least 75 now compared to the 150 they were asking for, during the summer. Jesus, man. If he doesn't get his fucking, pull his socks up and get his fucking shit together, he's going to be gone for like 60 to 75 million, come next summer.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll sell him in January.
Well,
but...
Levy wanted to force him to stay against his will. He wanted to force a player to stay that didn't want to be at the club. This was why I had a feeling that Kane wouldn't. Do you know, it's still early. Let's see. Let's see by Christmas. It's still early. Let's see.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, let's hope, man. That's all we can fucking do. Well, what are your predictions for the weekend against Newcastle, then? What do you reckon?
I said it's going to be a draw.
Well, I was hoping that it was going to be like a 2-0 win until the Sun news came across. But if it is the case that Sun is the one who does have COVID, then
Fucked.
We're fucked.
yeah, man, I don't know what we could say.
We should be beating Newcastle, man. They're horrific. They're in relegation. They're so bad. Steve Bruce is such a crap manager as well, man. There's no way. Like, oh God, if it wasn't Tottenham, I'd guarantee a win.
You know, yesterday I was predicting 3-1 Spurs win, and then we got all that fucking updates about the 4 South Americans not going to be available, and Sonny and Gill and Bergwijn not ready to play, and I was like, oh my God, man, by 3-1. I always predict 3-1, by the way. Either we win or we lose 3-1. That's always my prediction. But, oh man, I can see us getting smashed on Sunday. And I fucking hate to say it because I'm a bit of a David Harris. I'm a bit of an optimistic kind of guy every weekend. But fuck it, man. Yeah, I reckon we're getting smoked on Sunday. And yeah,
that bloody Willock. Bloody Willock, ex-Arsenal, he plays for me.
I don't know how much we're going to get smoked. I do think it's going to be a lot tougher. I mean, there could be like this new owner bounce where these players that are there want to try and keep their spots, right? So they.
But it's not like a new managerial bounce, you know? It's a new owner, which is a different kind of puts a different complexion on things. It's more of a, you know, it's your occupation. It's a different type of pressure. You know, I mean, every one of those players at Newcastle knows they're out the door. So does the manager, and I think that's the only thing we have going for us.
I mean, there's that too, but it also could mean that if they want to try and stay and be a part of that new squad, you know, they've got to step up more than what they would have had to, you know.
Really, with a bunch of Saudi billionaires backing them, you think any of those boys are going to be playing in their team in a year or two? Oh, I hope, man.
It could be.
They're all gone.
St. Maximum. I mean, there's maybe like 2 or 3 that I think that they could keep.
Okay,
Well,
San Maximum,
you know what?
maybe,
I said exactly what you said. I said exactly what you said, Will, and then someone on Tommy's show said exactly what Ara said. How many of those players do you think they're going to keep? And I was like, okay, fair point. They're going to clear out the whole squad.
You think Jeff Hendrick's going to be there in come January, or you know? I mean, come on. Apart from, I tell you, the only 2 lads I'd probably keep, or 3 lads, the 2 brothers, purely because they're pure Toon. They're proper Toon army, and San Maximum. But other than that, man, come on. Look at the money they've got behind them now. Yeah. They're going to be going after, like they're doing a PSG. You know, that's what we're going to see in the next couple of years. Only hope they get relegated, because that way they're not going to be able to track players. You know, the big guns.
I think if they're in the relegation zone come January, they'll have a new manager. They'll have they will throw stupid money at it to not get relegated. It would be great though if they went down. That'd be fucking the best story ever.
Man, it'd be poetry in motion, mate. If they went down, it would be fucking pathetic fallacy. It would be fantastic. It would be justice for fucking, you know. Me, I'm a bit of a fucking moralistic activist, I have to be honest. So, I would love it if they went down. I'd fucking love it, man.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think that they will, though. The amount of money they can spend in.
Can you fix it in January, though? Can you fix it in January?
Oh, you can. I think you could stop relegation in January. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Could tell. But Will, Aaron, I've got to go, guys. So you have a good one.
All right,
got
boys.
Any shows coming up, man, or anything like that, or?
I don't know. I don't even know if I want to do YouTube anymore, Will. Honestly, man, I'm so sick to death of it all. And maybe we do one. Maybe we do one after the Newcastle game. I think I don't know. Maybe we do a Monday night podcast. I'll see how I feel.
All right,
man. I took a 2-week break during the international break, and I deleted my Twitter. I criticized Ndombele, and all of a sudden I'm getting called a racist, you know, and I'm like, what the fuck, man, you know?
Do you know what it is, just it's the same conversation every week. Bergwijn this, Ndombele that, Doherty this, Enoch this.
Yeah.
Not since we've sacked Poch. No, it's the same shit every single week. It doesn't.
I only joined Twitter in May, man. I only joined it in May and had a couple of hundred followers, and I just thought, why am I doing this, man? So I just, boom, it's gone now. And I took a nice couple of weeks off during the international break, didn't get involved, and did some stuff with the family and that. So I took what I call a Mr. K break, and it was really good. Yeah, and Mr. K is dead right, man. You know, you need a little bit of time off every now and then.
Yeah. Definitely do. I mean, I took a little bit of time off for this week too. It wasn't really time off. I mean, it was more just I was busy, so I couldn't do shows. But and I'll probably be gone all next week.
You know,
too, most of next week.
TV, or Arsenal fan TV, 3-4. It's just I can't be bothered for that. I couldn't care less.
No, but I mean, I'll still do 2 or 3 shows a week. When I can, you know, like during the international break, because there was nothing going on, it was only 1 show a weck. But during a regular week, I'll be still doing at least 2 or 3 shows a week.
Listen, we'll keep doing what you're doing. I'm not saying I'm gonna stop. I'm just, I don't know, man. I've had a bit of time to relax.
Don't stop, man. Like... Don't stop, still. You know, I mean, you're a voice of reason, and you always have fantastic input. And I know at times you know you're retaliatory, if that's a fucking word. You know, you can't resist retaliating. But
that's the problem.
That's where I draw the line, man. I just say, yeah, nice one, mate. If somebody fucking is trying to wind me up or something, like I just say, yeah, nice one, mate. I just fucking cut it off there.
I might just bounce around and jump on other people's shows when I'm up for it.
Get on to Tommy's, man. Get on to Tommy's. Tommy's a good lad.
I have more fun just like jumping on Wills, jumping on Bob Spur, jumping on Tommy. It's more fun because then you don't have to do anything. There's no work. You just go on other people's shows. It's better.
Yeah.
But anyway, listen, we'll talk.
Thanks, Sel, for coming on, joining us. Aaron, any final words? I think we're going to call it a day as well. We've been on here for about 2 hours. Any last words for the folks at home?
The usual. You know, come on, you Spurs, Enoch out, leave you out. Let's make a fucking change. Let's force a change. And let's fucking hope we get fucking 3 points on Sunday. And thanks for having me on, Will.
Oh, you're welcome anytime, my friend. But yeah, you're free to jump off anytime. Otherwise, I'll check in the back while I do the outro here. Folks at home, this has been your FPL Spurspective, kind of morphed into a call-in show due to the fact that, we've had some breaking news of possibly, allegedly, Son Heung-min has tested positive for COVID-19 and will not be available on the weekend. Stay tuned to our late night THFCRants post-match show, that and the like. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks for liking, subscribing. Stay strong, stay Spurs, and we will see you guys next time.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Let's go now.